So, good morning, everybody, and it's good to see you again. I've got two computers going, so it's kind of weird how it's working. I'm recording on one computer over here, and I'm going to run everything off another computer over here because it's a little bit newer, it has a little bit better processor, okay? So what we're going to do is kind of take a little bit of a break from activities, and we're going to talk about some things that you can do online this summer that are kind of a lot of fun, okay? And then next week, we're going to jump into maybe a longer term project, something that we'd probably actually do at camp. That would take a day or two. And then right before we end June, we're going to do one short little activity. It's not a long one. You'll need a 20-ounce pop bottle would be great. Those seem to work well. The square tea bottles are actually the best ones because they're stronger. The thicker the plastic, the better. So like a Gatorade bottle works well. Or those square-based tea bottles are the best. The 20-ounce bottles, like the Mountain Dew and Coke ones, the Mountain Dew and Pepsi ones are okay, but they're too flimsy in the middle where we need it. Dr. Pepper bottles, the ones that are a little bit more taller and skinnier, are a little bit better. The ones that kind of have the grip curve in it aren't what we need. Okay, that's just a heads up for a couple weeks. I'll talk about that. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at how do we design something in a modeling software that we can actually turn it into something, okay? Between myself and Matt, okay, we do a lot of different things with science, but some of it's also technology and engineering. Now, the big thing is what Matt's going to be doing. He's not going to be teaching as much next year, if really teaching at all, because what he's going to be doing is he's going to be doing things more with like technical education, and skills. So like he had right at the end of last year, he was working on getting his welding certificate. He and my boss have been important in ordering like giant printers to print banners. I have right now at home what's called here, let me pull up this picture here real quick. I have what's called an X-Carve. It is a CNC router that will allow you to cut out anything that you really want as long as you can design it. So if you take a look at this, I have this sitting in my house right here, okay? It's like 4 feet by 4 feet in a couple inches. So what I can do is I can cut out any shape out of, I could do it out of metal, I could do it out of wood, I could do this. Now these are not cheap, but they're kind of cool. We also have a smaller version of it too, that you can cut different things out. So that's one of those things you're like, oh, that's great. But one of the most important things that we can get a hold of and that we actually have a lot of we have 3D printers. 3D printers are a lot of fun to do. They're a lot of fun to use. And basically what you can do is you can take a design that you have and that you come up with and turn it into something that will actually 3D print. So how many of you have known what those 3D printers look like and kind of seen them before? Okay. Have you actually used them and done anything with them yet? No? Okay, so you've seen it done, all those things. Do I have anything that I 3D printed? Give me 1 second. I'm going to go look for something. I'll be right back. I don't have them nearby. Oh, man, I thought I had one. Okay, sorry, I was looking to see if I had something. But if you look at them, they're 3D printed. They're really kind of cool. They'll have the neat little layers. They're not perfectly great, but basically what they do is they feed a line of plastic, usually ABS or PLA, but don't worry about that so much. And you can actually buy a lot of 3D printers for a fairly cheap price, cheap being relative. I know we don't all have money. I think we got some that were like $250 to $300. But as you go up in price, the control and the texture is a little bit better and it's a little bit more stable. But what Matt has done, they've worked on ordering a whole lot of 3D printers. And I think there's going to be enough at each school district this next year for at least 3 or 4 in each district, I believe. Don't quote me on that. So will you have access to probably doing some of these things? You bet. Okay. So this is a lot of fun. It's kind of a neat thing to do, but it is a little bit tricky and it does require a learning curve. The other weird thing about this is when you use this program, you're going to need an email, which I think you all have a school email, don't you? A login through your schools. Okay, if you have that login, great. But what you're going to also need is you're also going to need an adult who can like verify it, okay? So what you'll have to do is you'll have to set up an account, and it's okay, it's free, it's all cloud-based, all that stuff. But when you register, because you guys are technically under the age of 13, there's a lot of legal stuff that you have to kind of keep an eye on. So what you have to do is you'll put in your parents' email, and it's just a verification step. Is that easy enough to understand? Does that kind of make sense? It's a lot. It sounds worse than actually what it is. Okay, so that's the one stressful thing about it. Okay, so when we go to working with it, here's what it's kind of going to look like. All right, so I'm going to turn my attention to this other screen here. All right, and I'm going to work on this. So when you get to your TinkerCAD screen, okay, can everybody see this screen right here? Everybody see this okay? Okay, awesome. This is actually your main login screen. So once you log in, do you have to send a link? Do you have to send a link? I can send you a link, but all you need to do is just search for TinkerCAD, T-I-N-K-E-R CAD, and it'll bring it up right away. And I have this weird login name. I use my work email, and that's fine. You'll use your school, and then what you'll need to do is do that. I could put my email in there and verify it for you too, but that's a little bit trickier. Okay, they have all sorts of different things on the left-hand side. This is your 3D design part. This is for building circuits. If you ever want to learn about making electrical circuits, you can click, drag, and drop some. This is code block. I haven't seen this. This is brand new. You can actually start to learn how to code things with it. It's kind of like Scratch or Bloxels. And then they have lessons, which I've never clicked on. But oh, look, here are some lessons that will actually teach you how to do different activities. I've never seen that one. Code blocks, well, that'll be a new one. We won't worry about circuits. This is tricky. This will look really confusing for you guys. You actually can use a little, yeah, don't worry about that one. That's kind of tough to do. But what you really want to focus on is you want to focus on creating 3D things. And when you do this, you actually can turn this into 3D printed things. So if you look, I have a whole bunch of really interesting little ideas. I have a 3D printed phone case, which I actually didn't do. These are lithographs. These are almost like 4 or 5 inch tall, like shield things on a base that we did with people's faces and crests that we did. These are some things I printed and made. This right here is actually somebody from Southern. She actually spent a good chunk of time making a 3-dimensional die, putting holes in there that could actually be rolled and done. Somebody made the Master Sword from Legend of Zelda. Great. This PVC pipe cap we actually built and developed for a teacher. And all of these other things I've kind of printed. They're just random things. So what you would do to make this work. All right, let me show you a few basics. All right. I'm going to create a new design. That's what I'm going to do. And you'll want to go back and watch this. There's all sorts of videos. It takes a little bit of time. What I would do is click this and change the name to My First 3D Project, or whatever you want to call it. I'm going to call it a rectangle with holes. Okay? And change the name. So what you have is you have this work plane. This is your three-dimensional workspace. There's going to be a lot of clicking and a lot of moving and a lot of changes. What I like to do is I go down here to what's called the snap grid, which is where all these dots are, and you can put it in whatever units you want it to be. Like you can make it, oh, I don't want to do that. Where do I work with it? How do I change this? I gotta remember how to do this. There's a way to change it. I think if I go to edit grid, oh, yep, edit grid, we'll work in inches, okay? And I'm just gonna set this to a number we all know, 7.5 by 7. We'll make it 7.5, so it's nice and square. There you go. Okay, so here's our 7.5 inches by 7.5 inch grid. You can make it as big or as small as you want. Okay, you can make it as big or as small as you want. Change. I'm working in inches, and I like to make this work in really, really small units. So I'm going to change it to 1/16 of an inch. Okay, that's really, really small. Sometimes I like to work in millimeters because it's a little bit simpler. So over here, you have your shapes, okay? You can get all of these unique shapes. Look at this, you can put a printable dinosaur, a skeleton, parts, connectors, text and numbers, all of these different things. So like, here's this text and numbers, there's your letters you can put on things, characters. So you got all these weird hands. These are kind of new. All right, bunny ears, connectors. Oh, these are like Lego pieces to make three-dimensional things, balls and sockets. I'm trying to look at all these things. Oh, you can build it. Oh, you can build your own little house. Cool. And making it. What do we got here? Popsicle sticks, pennies. Oh, neat. Yogurt cups, bamboo chop. I guess you can do some neat things. So there's all sorts of interesting, weird. Here's a skeleton. Oh, wow. You can put together your own skeleton, three-dimensional skeleton. Cool. And what do you have for dinosaurs? Just because I want to look here. Dinosaur. Check that out. You can make a dinosaur. Yep, you can put it together your own way. You can make it a weirdosaur if you want to. I haven't looked at this in a while. What do we have? Oh, you've got planes, command modules, a woolly mammoth, a triceratops skull, Abe Lincoln, Helen Keller, Washington. Wow, got all sorts of cool things that you can look at. What do we have here? What's some of these assemblies? No, we don't want that. What do we have here? Component. What components do we have here? Oh, you can build three-dimensional like. So I like to start with basic shapes. And what should we build? What do you think we should build? I really have no preference what we build. We could build a rectangle. We could build all sorts of ideas. What should I build? I don't know. We could build bunny rabbits. A house? Perfect. Let's build a house. With windows and doors? Windows and doors? What do we think? Windows and doors? All right, I'll give it my best shot. All right. So there's probably an easy way to cheat, but let's not worry about that. Okay. So I'm going to start with my house. So I'm going to grab a box and I will place it on here. And notice I can look at it many different ways. I can grab this here and I can look at it in different directions, from the bottom to the front, to the top, left, whatever. I can actually, I'm going to use my scroll wheel. I can zoom in on it. I can zoom out. I can change where I want it. Okay, it's kind of tricky. I'm going to look at all these things. If you click home, that's the standard view. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. So I have a 1 inch by 1 inch cube. Now I want to make it, oh, let's make it 3 inches long. So I'm going to pull it across to 3 inches. And then I'm going to pull it down to 2. Okay, 3 by 2. Okay. So there is the start of our house. I think it needs to be a little bit taller. Should we make it a little bit taller? Yeah. So I want to make this taller. What I do instead of having to click and drag it, I click on this, I'll click on the number, and I'll change it to what I want. I want it to be 1.5, so I'll make it 1.5 or 1.5 inches tall. Looks good? Looks good so far. How's that look? Good so far? And you can change, so it's a solid, all right? And I can actually change the color of it. What color should we make our house? What color? Red, blue, purple? I'm always, throw ideas. I like ideas. I see purple. Purple's the first one I see. We'll go lighter purple. Light purple. There you go. Nice light purple, so it's easier for people to see. Okay. I'm going to close that there. All right. Click off of it. Ta-da. I've got the shape. Now, I need to build a roof. Oh, look. There happens to be this beautiful roof shape for me right now. All right. I would use this roof. All right. Now, here's where it gets tricky. Okay. So I'm going to click this here. All right. Notice it's not the way I want it to be. I don't want my roof to be that size. So what I want it to do is match what I have. So I'm going to click on this button right here that shows the left to right size. And remember, it was 3 inches long. So I'm going to type in 3.00, make sure that's right. That looks right. And my roof was 2 inches, 2.00. Right, that looks about right. But here's the issue. If I try to drag it, it actually puts it inside of my house. And that's not what I want. So here's where we get to the tough part, okay? And I'll be honest, this is the really, really tricky part. So you might want to watch this a couple times or watch a few different videos. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to give it our best shot. I'm going to try to explain it as slowly and carefully as I can. All right. So there's no way. If I pull up on this, I change my roof height, and I don't want that, okay? I want to be able to move this piece on top of this piece, but it won't let me do that. It's a weird thing. You have to kind of work with the shapes. Am I making sense? You have to work with the shapes a little bit, okay? It takes some practice. Don't get stressed. It's going to be a learning curve. All right. So what I need to do is I'm going to grab this button right here called Work Plane, and I'm going to click. See how it changes the side and it matches the angles? Right now I'm working on the bottom of this square. I want to work on the side of everything. So I'm going to click this side, and it's going to change everything. Notice to work up and down. Can everybody see how it's working up and down now? My yellow grid here is now up and down. So what I can do, change my view just a little bit. I'm going to show you kind of how to do this. Now I can click it and drag it and move it up and down. Oh, that's tricky. It gets to be a little weird sometimes. And I want it to go up. How tall was it? 1.5? Whoop. Uh-oh. I broke it. There we go. I made it minus 1.5. I don't know why. Sometimes you have to mess with those buttons. And right now is you can see that my roof is the same height as my house, or my house block. Everybody see how that's kind of working? Am I making sense? Yeah, it takes a little bit of work. It's a little tricky. Okay, so now I need to be able to move it left and right. I don't remember. Can I move it? Oh, I can actually move it over the top of that, and I'm going to put it right on there. See how I changed my scroll to the right side? And now I have my roof on top of my house. Ta-da! Hey, I didn't do too bad there. Good for me. All right, I didn't do too bad. Now I'm going to go back to my flat face where I was at my beginning, and notice, hey, I did a pretty good job. But most roofs don't match up beautifully with our house. We need a little bit of an overhang. So let's make this just a little bit wider. We'll make it 3 1/8 over there. Make it a little bit here and there. Beautiful. A little bit of overhang. Should I put a, well, I want to build a porch. So I want to make this come out. It's kind of a fun thing to just kind of click and drag and try things out. There we go. You know what? I'm looking at this. Probably need some on the back too. Let's build it. We'll build it. We need more roof. We need to build a deck back here. All right. So that looks really good. Is that a good start, everybody? Good start? Not too shabby. It's kind of like I know what I'm doing sometimes, I think. Okay? I'm kind of checking your guys' nodding and making sure. That's why I'm taking it slow and easy with this, so you can kind of get an idea. So right now I've got a roof. Notice I'm just spinning my view, so you can see I can even look at it underneath. And now I need to add a door. But I want my door to go in my house. So what I need to do is I need an opening. So I want to look and see what I have here. I'll just use a box, okay? Now notice I picked this box right here. This box, it's a hole, okay? So I'm gonna click this box right here. I'm gonna make it empty for now. And let's say that my door is, let's make it 1/2 inch wide. Click here. Let's make it 3/4 inch tall. And it doesn't need to be very deep because it's just a door. So I'm gonna make it 1/8 inch or I happen to know it's 0.125. That's 1/8 inch. You could type, I think you could type, can I type 1 divided by 8? Oh, look, no, can't do that. That doesn't work. So I can just drag it. See, it gives me that fraction. I'll just drag it till it hits 1/8. There we go, perfect. Okay, so there's my door. Does that door look okay? Is that looking okay? Seems like a big door. Let's make it a little bit skinnier. Let's make it just a little bit skinnier. I don't like that. Let's go. There we go. That looks better. You think that looks better?
Yeah.
Yeah, that looks a lot better. Okay. So now I need to slide that door into my house. So I think if I just drag it here, yep, there we go. I can drag it. My door. Where do I want my door to go? Right in the center?
Yeah.
Whoa, whoa. Oh no, undo. There you go. Notice this button is undo. Whew. Sometimes that happens. Gotta click the right one. Click. How's that look? Does that look okay?
Yep.
All right. I agree. Okay, so now I want to keep my door in my house. So I want to join these together. I'm going to join these together. So watch how I join these together in one. I'm going to leave my roof separate because I might want to make changes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take I'm going to click on the house box, my purple box here. Then I'm going to use the shift button, okay? I'm going to shift click on my door. Wait, that work? Which one do I need? Click. Oh, that didn't work. Okay, actually here, you need to group. Oh, it did it for me. So it did it for me. That's kind of weird. I think if you click and click, usually if you group it, there, I ungrouped it. Huh, cool. It groups it for you, but usually there is a way. There. Usually if you shift and then click, it usually works. Now, the inside of my house is not hollow. Okay, so maybe what I want to do is, let's make the inside of this house hollow so I can put stuff in it. Zoom out a little bit, change my work plane. I'm gonna move my roof up a little bit, and I'm gonna switch back here. So now I've got my roof out of the way, put my roof over here. Everybody's like, oh no, I moved the roof of the house. Well, yeah, there's my shadow. So we want to make our house empty, correct? So let's put a box right here. I'm going to stretch it to fit. Might have to gonna look around the edges. Uh-oh, it's outside. I'm gonna leave a hole in my house. I don't want that. I'm just gonna kind of try to make it fit as best as I can, just a little bit inside the size of my house. The other thing I'm missing is I need to bring this up. Okay, so there we go. So now I've got a hole in my house, and I shift and I clicked. I'm gonna group that together. Oh no, that didn't work. Whoops, too far that way. So I undid it. Uh-oh, there we go. Okay, see my problem. Do you see my problem right here? See this little overhang? Look at it again here. And let's pull this wall out here just a little bit. There we go. Now I can shift click those two together. I'm gonna group them, and look, I now have a house that I can see into. Cool. Hey, I did it. All right, and then I can put my roof on here. And then, oh, I don't think I'll have to do this. Change my work plane here. Bring it back down on top of that. And then change it back here. And look, I now have, I can see through the bottom of my house. And I can see the top of the roof. Well, that looks pretty cool.
Are you gonna put any furniture in it?
You know, good question. Should I put some furniture in it? Well, let's do that. Let's move my roof up, and let's kind of move it out of the way. Let's move it out of the way. Let's go to those. Let's go to that shape thing. Should we have some fun? It says it's under.
Making at home? Making a home?
No, it's actually under the OMSI Hangout space. The making at home is kind of like designing ideas. So let's put. What do you think we should throw in there? You guys, I see a lot of you guys are unmuting. That's fine. Go and throw ideas in there. What should we do?
A corner couch.
A corner couch? Do we want? Let's grab this one. Okay. Whoa, that's really big. But we can scale it. Remember, we can scale it to fit. Okay. Okay. So I like that corner, but I don't want that corner. I want to rotate it. So I'm gonna grab my rotate. You see how I grab that rotate tool? And I can click 90 degrees. Okay, just so you know, 90 degrees is a right angle. Okay, 180 flips it, and then 360 is a full spin. Okay, oh, I don't like that either. That's not what I want. I wanted it right here. Okay, so 180. All right. So that looks good. Boy, that's huge. Boy, that is a ginormous couch. All right, let's make this a little bit smaller. A lot bit smaller. That's like if my house is like 1.5 inches tall, that's showing me that the couch is, how tall does it say? That's 8. Almost 1 inch tall. So that means that would be a couch that's like right up to here on me. Like a 6 foot tall couch. That's awkward. So let's change that size. Let's make it more realistic. Maybe. Oh, scaling locked? I don't want it locked. I don't want it. Boo. Okay, it's not letting me change it. Let's put a middle seat here. Put a middle seat right next to it. And then we need a right seat next to it. Uh-oh, it's in our wall. So what we can do, let's take our walls. Let's build our walls bigger. We'll make it a 4-inch house. We'll change this roof to be a little bit wider. No, I don't want that number. There we go. I'm going to make it 4.312. Whoa, whoops. I changed my roof. And so right now I have a couch inside of my house. And if I want to group these all together, I can click them all. And I'm using that shift and click, and I'm going to build one couch. So now I have one couch in my house right there. Beautiful. So if I were to look at it, look inside, I can see my couch in my house. And because we need some decoration, let's put a plant over here. Whoa, that's a huge plant. Plant here. There you go, beautiful. right? And I think I need a lamp. All right, I'm gonna put a lamp right there. Well, that is a really tall lamp. Whoa, it's even taller than our house. Holy cow. So I need to make my house taller. Uh-oh. Let's see, I need to click on this one right here. Boy, that lamp is taller than the wall I built. Weird. All right, so let's make it a 3-inch tall. Now I got, now I got my roof in the way. Oh goodness, boy, this is just not working out. So there we go. So you can see how silly this is. You're gonna have to make changes. You're gonna have to play with it. You're gonna have to work on it. Now I'm gonna move my roof back over my house. I'm gonna see if it fits. That is a really awkwardly tall house. But it looks pretty good. So honestly, we built a house. Oh, we need a window. Okay, I feel really weird. This house needs a window. All right. So I'm actually going to do something. I'm going to show you how to build kind of a neat little window. We're going to put 4 different little boxes. So we don't want it very tall. We're actually going to rotate it. So we're going to make it 1/8 of an inch tall. I'm going to put 4 window panes in here. So we're going to put windows. So I'm going to show you how to make a copy. We're going to make them very small. We're going to make them 1/8 by 1/8. And then usually if you're going to put a hole, make them a little bit bigger. So I'm going to put one here. I'm going to change the size. Sometimes you kind of have to mess with your view. A little bit there. Now I want to use this same shape again. So let's use that same shape. So I'm going to copy this shape. I'm going to go up here to my copy. I'm going to click off of it, and I'm going to click paste. And now I have another one. Whoa, another one of those window openings. I'm going to do that again. I'm going to paste another one. I'm going to move it over here. I'm going to paste it. I'm going to move and darn. Sometimes it's frustrating. Even I, who used it a few times, kind of know what I'm doing, right? Check the bottom, make sure it went all the way through. Went all the way through, great. Okay, let's link all of these together. 2, 3, 4. Let's group it. I've got a window now. Let's change the color to brown so we know where it is. Now, I've got an issue. I want to move it from flat to up. So I need to change my work plane again. And now I think if I click this, I should be able to rotate. Guess not. There it is, there it is. Okay, see how there's an up and down? Let's try 90. Let's try 90. That kind of worked. And then we're gonna flip it front to back, 90. No, we're not. That didn't work. There we go. See how that rotates this way? So I'm gonna go 90 degrees this way. Aha, there we go, I did it. I did it, good for me. Okay, but now I need to move it up where I want it, to the height I want it. That's a ginormous window. So I'm kind of looking, I'm gonna put it close to my house. All right, I'm gonna see where it fits, and then I'm gonna change this here. Where I want to be height-wise. Whoa, whoa, that's way up in the air. Whoa, creepy. Okay, so I want to line it up with the house. I'm going to make a copy of it too, because I want another one. Paste it. No, I don't want that. Copy that. I want to paste another window right here. There it goes, right up against the house. Now, I want to move it up and down and change it here. I'm going to put this window. So, how's that look right there? That look better right there?
Yeah.
Okay. And then I can move it a little bit in to the house. I should have made those there a little bit bigger. Now my windows are off balance with each other, and that looks weird. Go here. No, I didn't want to do that. Control Z is your friend. You're going to make mistakes. How do we look here? No, nope, not quite. Over here. Whoa! Whoa, crazy. There we go. And right now, what we have is we have a house with, we'll pull this out here just this. There. So right now, we can't see through it, but we can put some things there. All right, so what we have right now is we have a start. We have a start of our house. We have a door area. We have some windows that stick out. We have a roof. Inside, we have a couch, a lamp, and a house plant because we need that. That, ladies and gentlemen, is kind of a great way to do that. Do you need an approval for TinkerCAD? Yes, you do because of the H thing. So right now, I'm going to stop there. Okay, and that should give you a pretty good start. It looks really dorky, I know. It's not the best in the world. In fact, it's quite terrible. I'll admit it, all right? But if you really look at it, does it give you an idea of how to do it? Did I go slow enough through it to help you guys understand it? Okay, so I showed you kind of the basic things. It is very tricky to get the pieces to go up and down and back and forth correctly. It's kind of tough. It's just the way that it goes. It doesn't always play nice. You're going to get frustrated with it. It's going to take time. But the cool thing is, if you can do that and get it correct, it'll look great. If you do it on your own, even better. Some things to do, if you go to some different sites, there's a ton of sites out there. You can search for what's called 3D print STLs. I love Thingiverse. Thingiverse is great. It gives you all sorts of really cool ideas, gives you great, interesting things that you can download. Great ideas. My computer might be a little slow. It's really pulling hard. CAD will cause your computer to struggle a little bit. Let's do that. Trying to make sure there's
No.
So you can print a lot, and what you're going to look for. Oh, I shouldn't have closed that. There, I want to open that again. Hang on, let me show you something. So the thing I forgot to show you real quick was if you have a picture you want to bring in, go to import, and you're looking for either something called an STL, an OBJ, or an SVG. You can drag those and drop them, and then you can work with them. When you're done, you know, we'll talk about it, how to export it as what's called an STL. That way you can send it to your 3D printer, okay? That's kind of tricky. That's something you could email and ask me about. Yes, you can play with Lego bricks. Gives you some great ideas. There's so many different neat things. Share with people and apps. Yeah, there are tons of different things that you can do with this. This is just a basic idea. Just a good way to give you a start. Some interesting things you can do. There are so many cool things out there, especially on Thingiverse. I love Thingiverse. It has some really cool things to find, some really neat things that you can look up, check on, and actually download and put into TinkerCAD yourself. And then
I have a conflict.
So
You have to